everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Allison and this is my April 2021 setup. I'll be using watercolors for the first time in my bullet journal, and I got this set off of Amazon. I'll link it below. And some of my Crayola Super Tip markers. This month I thought it'd be really fun to do a theme of watering cans and wildflowers. And for my cover page, I wanted to look like the watering can was actually watering the flowers. So I decided to make it into a pull tab, and I'll show you how I put it all together. So the first thing I did was make my watering can, and I used a separate watercolor sketchbook since I'll be cutting it out and taping it into my bullet journal. I actually don't have that much experience with watercolors, but I thought it'd be fun to try out. And I got this watercolor paint set a couple months ago, and I never really got around to using it. So this was really a fun way to try something new. Right now I'm measuring out how wide my tab will be for where the water is going to be coming out from the watering can. And so I just traced that on another sheet of the watercolor sketchbook, and I'm adding in my little water drops just by going in with different shades of blue and purple. So I got my inspiration to make my cover page a pull tab mechanic from another YouTuber. Her name's Junie from Junie Sun Studios, and she posts videos about bullet journaling, and a lot of her setups include a pop-up mechanic, and they're really cool and interesting to see how she makes them. Definitely go check out her channel if you haven't already. I'll link her down below. Now I'll be painting the wildflowers at the bottom of the cover page, and I watched some videos on how to watercolor some flowers, and I gotta say they're not the best, but it gets the point across. I think these are poppies, and again, I'm not really good with flower names, but I'm still happy with how they turned out. Now that my painting's done, I'll start setting up the pull tab mechanic. I'm just trying to figure out where to place the watering can, and I'm making marks where to cut a slit out, and this is where I'm going to be putting the strip of paper that has the water on it. So I'm just using an X-Acto knife to cut out a slit, and I put a case on the back so I wouldn't cut through the other side of the bullet journal. And I just made a mark there to show how far down to pull it. And I cut out a longer strip of paper, and this is actually going to be the pull tab, so when I pull it down, the water comes out. Now I'm cutting out some smaller strips of paper that will act as a guide for the tab, so it'll keep it straight. And then placing a strip of paper onto the tab itself so it will block it from going all the way down, and doing the same thing with the top so the tab doesn't go all the way up. Now just testing it out to see if it works properly, and it does. So I'm going to add my watering can on top, and I positioned it so the water spout covers the slit that I made for the water. And there you have it, a functioning water can. Woo! So as I was writing April on the top there, I messed up the P. So I just wrote it on a separate sheet of paper and I taped that on top. And now to cover the pull tab mechanic, I am just taping the two sheets of paper together, making sure not to place any tape on the tab itself. And the one thing to keep in mind is if you do this, you'll have the tab showing through your bullet journal on the bottom there, which I don't mind, but just something to keep in mind if you want to do this for yourself. Now for the quote page, I decided to make this teal colored watering can with some flowers on it. And I actually used this teal color throughout the whole spread. Now I'm just figuring out the placement with my pencil and then going over it with my white Posca marker to say hello spring. Next is my calendar page. So I made my calendar 6 dots high and then 5 dots wide. I marked the top blue for where I'm going to put my days of the week. I decided to go with a simple cursive lettering for April, and then I'm adding in some wildflowers to the top of the calendar just to fill in the space. Now for the bottom right corner of the page, I'm just adding in a watering can, and I'm gonna put some more little flowers inside that one as well. Now I'm adding in a box to write down my monthly goals, and then also a box to write down any notes. And that is my calendar setup. Now I'll be working on my habit tracking page. So I'm again going in with a simple cursive with my micron, and then I'm going to be adding 4 different habits to track. And I thought it'd be nice to add a different flower for each habit. So I didn't like how the flower came out on this specific tracker, so I covered it up with another sheet of paper and then just painted over that. Always a simple fix if you mess up, to just cut out another sheet of paper and cover it up. Now onto my mood tracker, and I thought it'd be fun to do a giant watering can and then have my moods be different shades of blue, and it'll be like I'm filling up the watering can as the month goes along. Now onto my weekly spread. Since the first week of April only has 3 days in it, I decided to also make that extra space into a gratitude log. I haven't really used one before, but I wanted to try it out. So for the days of the week, I'm just doing a simple little box around and then labeling the headers. I didn't really like how I labeled these, so I ended up covering it up with the marker, and I'll go over it again with my white Posca marker. So I didn't really like how the daily gratitude title looked, so I covered it up with the blue marker and then went over that with my white Posca marker just to make sure that it all blends together well, and I liked how it turned out better this way. And for the second week, I'm doing a similar layout, separating each day with a box, and then I also wanted to tie in some more of the flowers, so I put in some sprigs of lavender there, and I'll end up putting some more lavender on the other page as well. And of course, can't forget to add another little watering can in the corner there. So now I'm skipping a couple pages where I'll put the rest of my weeklies at, and now I'm working on my highlights page. This is where I like to write fun memories and also print out some pictures and tape them in there, and it's a nice way to look back on the month. because I want to leave myself as much room as possible to write stuff down on these pages. I just did a simple little border, and then I'm going to add another small watering can in the corner with some flowers. So that's it for this month's setup. Now time for the flip through. I had a lot of fun with this theme and so happy with how the cover page turned out. Let me know what your thoughts are below. I hope you still enjoyed watching, even though this is posted a little bit later than I wanted it to be. I'll have the supplies I used listed down below. And if you enjoyed watching content like this, please hit subscribe. And until next time, bye!